Warning: if you're over 50, you could be losing muscle every year while overpaying for premium protein that doesn't deliver. Listen, I know how it feels when strength slips and prices climb. After 50, we naturally lose about 1–2% of muscle each year. By 80, that can be a somber 30% of our strength. But here's the hopeful truth. Staying strong isn't about spending more. It's about choosing smarter, highly usable protein your body can actually absorb. So what works under $3 a serving? Think humble, powerful staples. Sardines and tuna for complete protein and omega-3s. Cottage cheese and Greek yogurt for slow and steady casein plus gut-friendly cultures. Eggs, the gold standard your muscles love. Lentils and dried beans for budget protein, fiber, and minerals that fight inflammation. Picture this: breakfast of Greek yogurt with berries, lunch of tuna on whole grain crackers, dinner of a hearty bean and veggie soup, and a cottage cheese snack before bed. That's real food, real results, real savings. Ask yourself, is your protein working for you all day and all night? Are you pairing plant proteins with grains to cover all essential amino acids? Could a simple pantry, eggs, canned fish, beans, beat a $200 supplement bill? In my experience helping older adults rebuild confidence and strength, the answer is yes. Consistency wins. Flavor matters. Your independence is worth planning a cart around. I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Drop your city, country, and the current time in the comments. And now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. The 7 most affordable, muscle-building protein foods. I'll walk you through them in order, from helpful all the way to absolutely essential. Each one costs less than $3 per serving, yet delivers more real benefits than many pricey supplements. As we go through this list, think about how many of these foods you already use and which ones might surprise you as powerful allies for staying strong and independent. Let's start with number 7 on our list, canned sardines. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Sardines. Really? For many people, the idea alone brings a cringe. But stay with me, because these little fish pack a punch that can completely change the way you think about affordable protein. One small can, usually costing around $1.25, contains a whopping 23 grams of complete protein. That's the same amount of high-quality protein you'd get from a salmon fillet that costs 4 or 5 times as much. And it's not just protein. Sardines are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are like nature's defense against inflammation. Why does that matter? Because as we age, inflammation becomes one of the silent culprits behind muscle breakdown. Omega-3s don't just help your joints. They help preserve the muscle tissue you've worked hard for. Let me share a quick story. I once spoke with a retired firefighter in his late 70s. He told me he used to feel weaker every year, no matter how much chicken or beef he ate. Then, on the advice of a friend, he began eating sardines twice a week. At first, he hated the idea. But within a few months, he noticed something incredible. His grip strength improved, he felt steadier on his feet, and he had more energy in the mornings. The secret wasn't spending more money on fancy protein powders. It was a $1.25 can of fish sitting quietly on the grocery shelf. And here's another bonus. Sardines come with soft, edible bones. That means you're not just getting protein and omega-3s. You're also getting calcium, which is essential for bone health. Strong bones and strong muscles go hand in hand, especially if your goal is to maintain independence as you age. What makes sardines even better is convenience. They don't spoil quickly. don't need to be cooked, and can sit in your pantry until you're ready. Compare that with fresh fish, which can go bad in days. With sardines, you can stock up when they're on sale and always have high-quality protein ready when you need it. Now, if the taste is what's holding you back, there are simple ways to make sardines delicious. Mash them on whole-grain toast with avocado, lemon juice, and fresh herbs for a quick, nutrient-packed snack. Toss them into a pasta salad with olive oil and garlic. Scramble them with eggs for a protein-rich breakfast, or if you want something simple, enjoy them right out of the can on crackers with a dash of hot sauce. The truth is, you don't need to eat sardines every day to see results. Even just one can a week can give your muscles a meaningful boost. Think about it. For the price of a cup of coffee, you're fueling your body with complete protein, omega-3s, and calcium. So the next time you walk past the canned fish aisle, don't overlook those humble sardines. They might not come in flashy packaging, but they deliver the kind of nutrition that keeps you strong, steady, and independent. Moving on to number 6, let's talk about a food that might surprise you: cottage cheese. Now, I know it may sound a little old-fashioned. Maybe it reminds you of something your grandparents used to eat, or that strange side dish you'd see at buffets. But here's the truth. When it comes to affordable, powerful protein for seniors, cottage cheese is one of the best-kept secrets. Just 1 cup gives you around 24 grams of protein, and a 16-ounce container, which costs about $2.50, holds roughly 100 grams of protein in total. That works out to less than 3 cents per gram, making it one of the most budget-friendly protein sources you can buy. Compare that with a protein bar that costs $2 and only delivers about 20 grams of protein. The numbers speak for themselves. But what really makes cottage cheese special isn't just the price. It's the type of protein inside. Cottage cheese is loaded with casein protein, which digests slowly. Why is that so important? As we age, our muscles don't respond to protein as efficiently as they once did. This is called anabolic resistance. Think of it like trying to water a dry sponge. If you pour it all at once, most of it runs off. But if you drip it slowly, the sponge absorbs every drop. Casein works the same way. It provides a steady stream of amino acids over several hours, giving your muscles more time to actually use what you eat. And here's where it gets even better. Studies show that when seniors eat casein protein before bed, they continue building and repairing muscle overnight, even if their sleep quality isn't perfect. Imagine your body quietly repairing itself while you rest. That's the power of this simple food. Let me share a story. A woman named Linda, 72, told me she always felt frustrated because no matter how much chicken or fish she ate, she still struggled with muscle weakness. Then her doctor suggested adding cottage cheese as a bedtime snack. At first, she thought it was odd. Cheese before bed. But she gave it a try. She started mixing half a cup of cottage cheese with some berries a few nights a week. Within 2 months, she noticed her grip strength improving, her arms felt firmer, and she had more energy to play with her grandkids. The change wasn't because she spent more money. It was because she chose the right type of protein at the right time of day. Beyond muscle health, cottage cheese also provides a powerful dose of calcium, which supports strong bones. And as we all know, strong bones and strong muscles work together to keep us steady, balanced, and independent. Research even shows that seniors who regularly eat cottage cheese score higher on bone density tests compared to those who don't. Here's a key tip. Always choose full-fat cottage cheese instead of the low-fat versions. Why? Because the healthy fats help you absorb vitamins like vitamin D, which directly supports muscle function. The fat also helps keep you fuller for longer, making it a perfect late-night snack that won't leave you hungry before bed. Now, you might be wondering, how can I actually eat it if I don't love the taste? Don't worry, there are plenty of ways to make cottage cheese enjoyable. Mix it with fresh berries or a drizzle of honey for a sweet snack. Blend it into a smoothie for extra creaminess. Use it as a base for savory dips with herbs and spices. Some people even swap it for ricotta in lasagna to save money while boosting protein. The possibilities are endless. So, while cottage cheese may not have the fancy marketing of protein powders or the trendiness of Greek yogurt, it delivers something far more valuable: consistent, affordable, muscle-building nutrition that works while you sleep. If you're looking for one simple habit to start this week, try having half a cup of cottage cheese before bed a few nights. Give your body the steady support it needs, and you just might be amazed at how much stronger, steadier, and more energized you feel. Now let's move on to number 5 on our list: lentils. I'll be honest, lentils aren't the kind of food that usually makes headlines in the fitness world. They don't have shiny packaging, they're not advertised as superfoods, and you probably won't see a celebrity holding a bowl of lentil stew on Instagram. But here's the truth. When it comes to affordable, muscle-supporting nutrition, lentils are one of the most underrated foods on the planet. Just 1 cooked cup of lentils gives you about 18 grams of protein, and you can buy a whole pound for around 150 sakras. That works out to less than 20 cents per serving. Compare that with a protein bar that costs 10 times as much and delivers the same protein or less. When you think about value for your dollar, lentils are hard to beat. But it's not just the protein. Lentils are a nutrient powerhouse. They combine protein with fiber, iron, and B vitamins, all of which become more and more important as we age. One nutrient that stands out is iron. Did you know that many older adults live with low iron levels without even realizing it? It often shows up as fatigue, weakness, or shortness of breath, and people sometimes dismiss it as just getting older. But iron deficiency can actually undermine your muscle strength and endurance long before it shows up on a blood test. Lentils are an excellent way to boost iron naturally while also getting protein. Another unique advantage of lentils is that they contain leucine, an amino acid that's especially powerful for triggering muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to build and repair muscle. Now here's the catch. Lentils, like most plant proteins, are not complete on their own. That means they don't have all the essential amino acids in the right balance. But don't worry, you don't have to eat steak to solve this. When you pair lentils with grains, nuts, or seeds throughout the day, your body puts the puzzle pieces together and builds complete protein. You don't even need to eat them in the same meal. Think of it as teamwork across your daily meals. Let me share a real-life story. A gentleman named Robert, age 68, told me he was worried about cutting back on meat for health reasons. His doctor had suggested reducing red meat for his heart, but Robert was afraid he'd lose muscle without it. That's when he started experimenting with lentils. At first, he was skeptical. He thought of them as bland and boring. But after a few weeks of adding lentil soups and salads to his meals, something changed. He noticed he wasn't as tired during the day. His digestion improved, and when he went to his exercise class, he could actually finish without feeling drained. His blood work showed improved iron levels, and his strength was holding steady, even improving. Robert realized that he didn't have to spend more money or rely on expensive powders. All he needed was a simple bag of lentils from the pantry. One of the reasons lentils are so senior-friendly is their ease of cooking. Unlike other dried beans that require soaking overnight, lentils cook in about 20 to 30 minutes. Red lentils cook the fastest and tend to break down into a creamy texture, which is perfect for soups and curries. This makes them easier to chew and digest, an added benefit for older adults who may have dental issues. Green and brown lentils hold their shape better and are great for salads or as a meat substitute in dishes like tacos or shepherd's pie. To make them even more powerful, you can cook lentils with anti-inflammatory spices like garlic, ginger, and turmeric. Not only do these spices add flavor, but they also help reduce chronic inflammation, which is one of the biggest enemies of muscle preservation as we age. Now let's talk about the cost-effectiveness again, because it really is amazing. A single pound of dry lentils costing about $1.50 gives you roughly 8 hearty servings. Each serving contains around 18 grams of protein. That's about 144 grams of protein per bag. To put that in perspective, that's the protein equivalent of several steaks, but for the price of a cup of coffee. And here's the best part. Lentils fit into almost any type of meal plan. You can enjoy them as a warm lentil soup on a cold evening, toss them into a salad for extra protein, or mix them into rice or quinoa for a complete plant-based protein dish. If you enjoy experimenting, lentil curries with ginger and turmeric not only taste amazing but also provide a powerful anti-inflammatory boost. So, if you've been thinking that building or maintaining muscle after 50 requires expensive meat or fancy powders, lentils prove otherwise. They're simple, affordable, versatile, and packed with the nutrients your body needs to stay strong and energized. My advice? Try cooking a pot of lentils this week. Start with a basic lentil soup. Add some carrots, onions, garlic, and spices. Make enough for a few meals and see how your body feels after a week of adding this humble, powerful food to your diet. Don't let the simple appearance of lentils fool you. Inside that little legume is a recipe for strength, endurance, and vitality, all for just pennies a serving. Next on our list, at number 4, is a food you've probably walked past 1,000 times in the grocery store without giving it much thought. Canned tuna. Now don't underestimate this humble can. It might just be one of the most powerful, cost-effective tools you have for protecting and rebuilding muscle after 50. Let's look at the numbers. A single can, which usually costs around $1, gives you about 22 grams of high-quality protein in just 3 ounces. That breaks down to less than 5 cents per gram of protein. Compare that with protein powders, which can run anywhere from 15 to 20 cents per gram, or fancy steaks that cost $5 or $6 a serving. Tuna gives you the same or even better results at a fraction of the price. What makes canned tuna especially valuable for seniors is how easily it's absorbed by the body. Research shows that people over 70 actually digest and use fish protein more efficiently than some other protein sources. In fact, absorption rates for tuna protein can be over 90%. That means almost every bite you take is being turned into fuel for your muscles. For older adults, where every gram of protein counts, that's a huge advantage. And here's something else. Tuna provides all 9 essential amino acids in the right balance, making it a complete protein. It's also naturally lean, low in fat and calories, so you get muscle-building benefits without adding extra body fat, which can sometimes interfere with hormone balance and increase inflammation. Now let me tell you a story. A man named George, age 74, used to joke that he lived on peanut butter sandwiches. They were quick, cheap, and easy. But as he got older, he started noticing his energy dipping. His doctor warned him that his muscle mass was slipping too fast and he needed more protein. George didn't want to spend money on powders or complicated recipes. One day, his grandson, who was in college, showed him how he ate canned tuna straight out of the can with some crackers for a quick protein boost. George thought it was too simple to matter, but he tried it. Within weeks of replacing his daily peanut butter sandwich with tuna salad or tuna on whole grain crackers, he noticed real changes. His legs felt stronger when climbing stairs, and he wasn't as tired after yard work. What shocked him most was how inexpensive it was. Just $1 a day to feel noticeably better. That's the kind of impact tuna can have. Now let's talk safety, because some of you may be thinking about mercury. The FDA recommends that adults safely consume up to 12 ounces of low-mercury fish per week, which includes canned light tuna. That's about 3 to 4 cans per week. By sticking with light tuna and mixing up your protein sources, like sardines, salmon, or beans, you can keep mercury well within safe limits while still reaping the benefits. And the convenience factor? Unbeatable. Tuna lasts for months on the shelf, doesn't need cooking, and can be eaten straight from the can. You can keep a few cans in your pantry or even in your car for emergencies. It's ready whenever you are. If you're worried about taste, don't be. Tuna is incredibly versatile. You can mix it with a little olive oil, lemon juice, and herbs for a light, refreshing salad. Stir it into scrambled eggs for a protein-packed breakfast. Shape it into tuna patties with breadcrumbs and spices for a simple dinner. Or keep it as easy as George did. Straight out of the can on whole grain crackers with some veggies on the side. Here's the bottom line. Tuna is one of the most cost-effective ways to get muscle-supporting protein into your diet. For just $1 a can, you're feeding your body the exact building blocks it needs to stay strong, steady, and independent. So, the next time you're in the grocery store, don't skip that aisle with the canned fish. Grab a few cans of tuna, and remember, sometimes the simplest foods are the ones that make the biggest difference. Coming in at number 3 is a food that's probably sitting in your fridge right now, the humble egg. Now don't let its simplicity fool you. For decades, eggs have been misunderstood, criticized, and even feared because of cholesterol myths. But modern research has flipped the script. Today, we know that eggs are not just safe for most people. They're one of the most powerful, affordable muscle-building foods available, especially for seniors. Let's break it down. One large egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein, and a dozen eggs, costing around $2.50, gives you roughly 72 grams of complete protein. That works out to less than 4 cents per gram, an unbelievable bargain compared to protein powders or supplements. But it's not just the amount of protein that makes eggs so special. It's the quality. Eggs have the highest biological value of any whole food, which means your body can use almost every gram of protein they contain. For older adults, this matters a lot. Our digestive systems don't always absorb protein as efficiently as they once did, so every bite needs to count. Eggs deliver protein in a form your body recognizes and uses with remarkable efficiency. And here's something many people don't realize. Half of the protein in an egg is found in the yolk, along with powerful nutrients like leucine, vitamin D, and choline. Leucine is the amino acid that acts like a switch to turn on muscle protein synthesis. Vitamin D is crucial for muscle strength and balance, and choline supports brain health, helping maintain the mind-muscle connection we rely on for both exercise and everyday tasks. Here's where it gets really interesting. A study from the University of Illinois showed that eating whole eggs after exercise led to a 40% greater muscle-building response compared to eating the same amount of protein from egg whites alone. In other words, when you throw out the yolk, you're throwing away the very nutrients that help your body make the most of the protein. Whole eggs work better than egg whites because the nutrients in the yolk enhance how your body uses the protein in the white. It's a natural synergy you just can't get from powders or supplements. Now, let me share a story. Margaret, a 70-year-old retired teacher, told me she avoided eggs for years because she'd heard they were bad for her cholesterol. Instead, she spent money on expensive protein shakes, but she never really felt stronger, and she hated the taste of those powders. One day, after talking to her nutritionist, she decided to bring eggs back into her diet. She started small, 2 scrambled eggs with spinach and tomatoes in the morning. Within a few weeks, she noticed her energy lasting longer through the day. Her grip strength improved, and she felt steadier walking up and down stairs. The real surprise came at her next doctor's appointment. Her cholesterol was perfectly fine, and her vitamin D levels had improved. She laughed and told me, "All that money on powders, and all I really needed was a carton of eggs." That's the beauty of eggs. They're versatile, affordable, and effective. You can boil them for a portable snack, poach them over whole grain toast, make an omelette packed with vegetables, or even bake them into casseroles. There are dozens of ways to enjoy them, which means you won't get bored. And since they're so quick to prepare, they fit easily into any lifestyle. Of course, some people still worry about cholesterol. But here's the encouraging news. Most modern studies show that for the majority of people, eating eggs does not raise the risk of heart disease. In fact, the nutrients in eggs, like choline and omega-3s in certain varieties, can actually support heart and brain health. Unless your doctor has specifically told you otherwise, whole eggs are not just safe, they're one of the smartest choices you can make for muscle and overall vitality. Another advantage of eggs is that they're one of the few food sources of vitamin D. Seniors with higher vitamin D levels consistently show better muscle performance and lower risk of falls. And unlike vitamin D supplements, which sometimes don't absorb well, the vitamin D in eggs is paired with healthy fats from the yolk, making it easier for your body to use. Think about it this way. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can buy a dozen eggs that provide a week's worth of high-quality protein, essential vitamins, and muscle-boosting amino acids. Few other foods offer that kind of return on investment. So, if you want a simple, affordable, and highly effective way to fight age-related muscle loss, look no further than the egg. Don't waste money tossing out the yolks. Eat the whole egg, enjoy the flavor, and give your body what it truly needs to stay strong. Try this. Tomorrow morning, make yourself an omelette with 3 whole eggs, some fresh vegetables, and a sprinkle of cheese. Notice how satisfied and energized you feel for hours afterward. That's not just breakfast. That's an investment in your independence and strength for years to come. At number 2, we come to a food that feels modern, trendy, and yet deeply traditional. Greek yogurt. Unlike regular yogurt, Greek yogurt is strained, making it thicker, creamier, and most importantly, far richer in protein. And when it comes to supporting strong muscles and healthy aging, it's one of the most effective choices you can make. Let's talk numbers first. 1 cup of Greek yogurt delivers around 20 grams of protein. A 32-ounce container, costing about $5, gives you 160 grams of protein total. That breaks down to just 3 cents per gram of protein. An incredible value. at less than $1 per serving. You're getting both quality, quantity. But here's what makes Greek yogurt special. It contains a unique mix of whey and casein protein. Whey digests quickly, giving your muscles a fast supply of amino acids right after you eat. Casein, on the other hand, digests slowly, providing a steady trickle of nutrients for hours. Together, this combination means your muscles get both immediate and long-lasting support. For seniors, whose muscles need continuous nourishment to overcome age-related resistance, this is like having the best of both worlds in one food. And there's more. Greek yogurt is packed with probiotics, those friendly bacteria that keep your gut healthy. Why does that matter for muscle? Because a healthy gut improves nutrient absorption and lowers inflammation. Think of your gut as the doorway to your body. When it's strong and balanced, more of the protein, vitamins, and minerals you eat actually make it into your muscles, where they belong. Here's a story that brings this to life. I once met Carol, a 66-year-old grandmother who struggled with slow walking speed and weak legs. She said she tried to stay active, but climbing stairs left her winded. Her daughter suggested she start adding Greek yogurt into her daily routine, not as a dessert, but as a staple. Carol began eating a cup of Greek yogurt every afternoon, usually topped with a handful of berries and walnuts. After about 3 months, something amazing happened. She noticed she could walk faster, her balance improved, and her legs felt steadier. Later, she discovered research from Tufts University showing that seniors who ate Greek yogurt daily for 12 weeks experienced measurable improvements in both walking speed and leg strength. Carol's experience matched the science perfectly. The benefits don't stop there. Greek yogurt is rich in calcium, essential for bone health, and B vitamins, which keep your energy metabolism running smoothly. And remember, strong bones support strong muscles. You can't have one without the other. If you decide to add Greek yogurt to your routine, here are 2 important tips. Choose plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Avoid flavored versions loaded with added sugar, which can cause inflammation and counteract the benefits. Full-fat versions also help you feel fuller, longer, and improve the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D. Use it creatively. Stir it into smoothies for creaminess. Use it as a healthier replacement for sour cream. Marinate chicken in it for tender meat, or simply enjoy it with berries and nuts for a complete, protein-packed meal. The bottom line is this: Greek yogurt is more than just a snack. It's a powerful, versatile tool for staying strong, mobile, and independent as you age. So, the next time you're at the store, grab a tub of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Try making it a daily habit, even just a cup a day. You might be surprised by how quickly your energy, strength, and mobility improve, just like Carol experienced. And finally, at number 1, we reach the king of affordable protein foods: dried beans. They may not look glamorous, but don't let appearances fool you. When it comes to muscle strength, energy, and value for your money, beans are unmatched. Let's start with the numbers. 1 pound of dried beans costs about $1.20 and provides roughly 12 servings. Each serving gives you around 15 grams of protein. That means you're paying only about 10 cents per serving, or less than 1 cent per gram of protein. To put this into perspective, 1 pound of beans gives you nearly as much protein as 9 protein bars, for the same price as just 1 bar. No supplement or fancy food comes close. But beans aren't just cheap, they're incredibly nutritious. Along with protein, they give you complex carbohydrates for long-lasting energy. fiber to nourish your gut and reduce inflammation, and essential minerals like potassium, magnesium, and iron that support healthy muscle function. They also contain polyphenols, natural compounds that fight inflammation, improve circulation, and even support heart health. All crucial for keeping muscles strong as we age. Here's the real-world proof. A landmark study followed older adults for 5 years and found that those who ate beans at least 4 times a week had better muscle mass, stronger physical function, and were less likely to experience falls or fractures. In other words, beans don't just help you build muscle, they help you stay independent. Let me share a story. Eleanor, a 69-year-old widow, told me she used to rely on frozen dinners because they were quick and easy, but she felt tired all the time, and her doctor warned her about low iron and weakening bones.